I'm back with a holy crap. You gotta hear and see this. This is phenomenal. Let's see, go back to...
And you start to see wave patterns in the petroglyphs, and you might ask yourself, were they much more advanced technologically, and when their society collapsed, the survivors were the ones that still had this info? Like, if we lose all of our power today on the planet, you and me in our mind, we can still go carve rocks and try to explain to people what's going on and try to carve science into rocks to prepare the people for thousands of years in the future.
Holy smokes! Holy smokes! I mean, you can just see it. It's an identical pattern carved into rock thousands of years ago. And all of a sudden it's just bing right there. I mean, you can see the wave pattern. Look at them. And then you look down here at this one. Holy smokes. Talk about comparative science. Look at this. You know, were these people being messengers of God and sending us this signal by this? Or did they actually have the instruments to detect this themselves? You know, I had a preacher, Reverend Keller, he preached a sermon. We don't know how advanced civilization was, you know, before the flood. We just don't know. Back in the 70s, he preached a sermon about how they had found an artifact in South America that would look just like an airplane, and when they did wind tunnel testing on it, it proved that it would have flown. And here recently on the internet, or recently, I'd say in the last few years on the internet, I was watching a video where, and they showed this, I forget what kind of image it was, whether it was in gold or whether it was in stone from many thousands of years ago. And it showed an airplane, and by the airplane was a big mushroom clone. What kind of world did they have back then? Or was this all, prophetic? It's absolutely astonishingly amazing. Just before the Great White Throne Judgment, the Bible says that Jesus Christ is going to come, after the 1,000-year reign of Christ, the devil's going to be loose for a little season, the untruth, and he's going to gather a people from Gog and Magog, not all of Gog and Magog, but from, and they're going to go down and surround the camp of the saints. And at that time, Jesus is going to plead with them, but they're going to be incorrigible. They're just not going to bend. They're not going to do anything. And then it says Jesus Christ is going to destroy them with fire that proceeds forth from his mouth. And I believe that Christ is going to plead with them. I believe he's going to beg them, please, just chill, take it easy. But it says after he kills them with the fire that comes from his mouth, he's going, then at that time, all mankind is going to be gathered up. Well, how in the world does that happen? If you're going to be taken before God to Judgment Day, how are you going to be gathered up? Except that you kill off mankind. Well, I was watching a video here the other day, people talking about Betelgeuse being a supergiant, 100 light years from Earth. It's part of the Big Dipper. It's the biggest star in the Big Dipper, I believe. It's the brightest star. But it talks about how one of its poles is pointing right in our direction. And then, by the way, supergiants are the ones that go supernova. And it's far enough away that the supernova itself wouldn't affect us, but what would affect us, and terribly so, would be if one of the poles of Betelgeuse is pointing at Earth, then when it goes supernova, it's going to also release a beam of a gamma ray burst through both poles. And since one of the poles is pointing towards Earth, we are close enough for it to burn off all life on Earth. You know, when you watch these videos, you're going, wow, that makes sense. That coincides with the Bible. Well, consider yourselves warned. What else can I say about that? Wow. Holy smokes.